Hello everyone. Today I am going to show you how to make confetti with your Cricut, and not just any confetti, but waterproof confetti. Confetti that you can use inside of a snow globe or in any situation where it might get wet and you don't want it to be ruined. This is the kind of confetti that you're looking for. The materials I'm showing you can be used with shape punches or just scissors to cut out what you want, but I'm going to show you how to make confetti in any shape that you want using a Cricut cutting machine. I have a Cricut Maker 3, but you can use older models all the way back to the Cricut Explore Air 2 with these materials. You don't need any special blade. The fine point blade that comes with your Cricut will work. The best material for cutting out your own confetti, especially for a snow globe, is the Cricut brand Party Foil. The Cricut Party Foil is waterproof, it is thin, it's easy to cut, and I definitely recommend it for making confetti. Another option, if you cannot get any Cricut Party Foil, is using art plastic. You can get sheets of it on Amazon. They are called plastic art sheets. You can cut it with the Cricut. It just takes a couple of passes to go through. Another option is to get plastic folders from your local store. I got some at Walmart. You can get them anywhere that school supplies are sold. These folders are made of the exact same plastic as the plastic art sheets, and it can be a much more affordable option to get because it does not take a lot of plastic to make an enormous amount of confetti. The plastic art sheets and plastic folders are waterproof. However, they float. They will not sink to the bottom of a snow globe, but they will flutter around just like the Cricut Party Foil will when you shake it in a snow globe. But the Party Foil will sink. The plastic sheets will float. So please keep that in mind. Okay, so let's go over how to use your Cricut to make some waterproof confetti. First, you need to choose your shape for your confetti. For this example, I have chosen a unicorn head that does have some fine details in the horn and the hair. You'll see how good it looks with the Cricut Party Foil. I was very pleased with how it turned out. Once you have your shape ready, you will need to upload it to Cricut Design Space as a cut file. My link goes straight to an SVG, which is automatically treated as a cut file. If you are using a regular kind of image, like a PNG with a transparent background, it will give you the option between making it a cut file or a print then cut file. We don't need to do any printing, so just choose cut file. Once you upload your file, you will click Add to Canvas to add it to your new project. It will probably pop up on your canvas much larger than you would need confetti to be, but it depends on your preference and how large you would like your confetti to be. Make sure the lock icon on the dimensions is locked so that the shape does not get distorted, and then you can drag the corner of the image to resize it however you'd like, or you can type the size you know you want directly into those dimension fields. I do not recommend going smaller than 1/4 of an inch. In this case, I did a 1/2 inch and it still looks very small when it's cut. So the larger it is, the easier it is for the Cricut to cut. But with the Party Foil, you can go down pretty small and it will still come out just fine. Once your shape is on the canvas, you will want to duplicate it a lot because we want to cut confetti. So that means we need a whole lot of them to cut out. I'm using a Mac, so I press Command D over and over to duplicate a whole lot in a short amount of time. Or you can right-click the image and select Duplicate, or go to the Edit menu and select Duplicate. There's a good chance you're going to want hundreds of them cut out. For this example, I chose to cut out 20 of the shape. You don't need to rearrange these shapes on your canvas because when you click on Make It, it will automatically arrange them so they take up the least amount of space on your mat. So after we click Make It, Design Space will show you a preview of how your shapes are during the cutting process. You can drag them around to match whatever size your Party Foil piece is or your plastic folders. Just make sure you've measured your materials and that the way they pop up on the mat will work when you go to cut them. Make sure your machine is turned on and then click continue, and it's time to make sure your cut settings are right. So in this example, I am cutting out on the Cricut Party foil, so that exact material setting is available in the Cricut materials list. Once you choose your material, it will automatically tell you what blade to use, and in this case, it is the regular fine point blade. Now it is time to put your Cricut Party foil onto a green standard grip mat. You want to press out all the bubbles as much as possible, get it firmly adhered to the mat so it does not move while it's cutting. Once the mat is ready to load, press it into the machine as far as you can. Then hit the flashing load button so the machine pulls it the rest of the way in. It will make sure the mat is the appropriate size by pulling it all the way through and then back again. Once the make or go button is flashing, it's time to start cutting. Just push that button and the machine will do all the work for you. Before you unload the mat, I recommend pulling up a corner of the material to make sure it has cut all the way through. If it hasn't, you can push that go button on your machine again and it will do the exact same cut process again. I did not cut enough to be able to pull up a corner of the material in this example, but I could look through the machine and see very clearly that the lines were crisp and some of the unicorn heads were already wanting to pop off the sheet, so I knew they were cut all the way through. Once you know your confetti pieces have been cut all the way through, you can unload the mat by pushing the up and down arrow button to unload. And then you simply remove the excess Cricut Party foil and start picking the confetti off your mat. And now you have a collection of beautiful custom confetti. You can use it to decorate a table at a birthday party. You can put it inside of a snow globe to shake up and see it float around beautifully. I do recommend adding glycerin to the water in your snow globe, about 3 tablespoons per cup of water. That will allow the confetti to float around a little bit more, almost like it's in slow motion before it settles at the bottom. If you are using plastic as your material, you do not need to add glycerin, but it can still help it float around a little slower before it collects back at the top. Now, if you are cutting plastic art sheets or part of a plastic folder, instead of the Cricut Party foil setting, you will use the foil acetate setting. It will still recommend the regular fine point blade, or you can use the premium fine point blade, which I especially recommend when cutting it on plastic instead of the Cricut Party foil. And the acetate setting causes the Cricut to cut with 2 passes, and that will make sure it cuts all the way through the plastic. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial and that you love your confetti. Please like this video if you have found it helpful in your project, and please subscribe to the Bright Color Mom channel. Have a bright and beautiful day.